Hi, we've configured your account for smart forecasting. In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn it on in your restaurant and what to consider as you do, end of day targets and supplier rules. Let's assume your login type is location user. Once you log in, you'll be in your store. If you have multiple stores, select relocate to switch to the store that you want to work in. You need to update your templates for each store that you've requested we configure for smart. From your workflow, you defaulted your daily workflow, and we need to change that to your number 2 order administration workflow. So go ahead and select the down arrow caret and number 2 order administration. And from there, select edit order template and confirm we've got purchase selected. But first note that if you're a Just Bake store and you're turning on Smart for your work order template, you may need to change the type from purchase to work and edit your work order template. Otherwise, everything we cover in this video applies to Just Bake stores too. We're going to focus on purchases you make from your CML. So select Edit for your purchase order template. And here you see all of your template values that you've manually entered. Once Smart Forecasting is turned on, the values will remain in the order template, but they're no longer used when creating your order. Instead, the order quantities will be calculated based on your last 4 weeks of sales. The first thing that you need to do is to set your end of day targets. There are 3 things to consider as you do. First, what are your end of day merchandising targets by category? In other words, total products by category that should be available at the end of the day to ensure maximum sales for your restaurant. Dunkin' has set standards. They are 92 donuts, 200 munchkins, 4 fancies, 12 muffins, and 2 bakery other. This is your guideline, but be sure to check with your area manager to see if he or she has adjusted these amounts. Next, think about how you want your case to look at the end of each day and set your minimums based on your most popular varieties. Your goal is to meet your end of day merchandising target by category, but you want to be sure to have your best sellers available all day. And lastly, keep in mind your supplier minimum and rounding rules can increase or decrease your order amount. So you'll want to be aware of the rules as you set your end of day targets. To see your supplier rules, at the top of your template, select More, Details. And under each product, you'll see your supplier rules. Let's scroll down to the donuts and let's take note of the donuts rules. What this tells you is that you have to order a minimum of 6 apple and spice with rounding rules to the closest of 6. In other words, this up and down arrow is telling you it's going to the closest. If this arrow just pointed up, you would be rounding up to the nearest 6, or if it just pointed down, you'd be rounding down to the nearest 6. But with it going in both directions, you're rounding to the closest value of 6. So let's go ahead and set our end of day targets by product. And to do that, we want to be in the waste minimum column, not the waste factor, but the waste minimum. We're setting our end of day minimums. Okay, so simply enter the number you want to have left at the end of each day in the waste minimum column. I'm going to go ahead and set a waste minimum of 10 for each of the express dozen, except I'll do 20 for the glazed. Okay, so I've done that to save time in the video, but if you scroll down, you can see that for each of the express dozen in the waste minimum column, I've typed the quantities that I want to have left over at the end of the day. So Boston cream 10, chocolate frosted 10, chocolate frosted with sprinkles 10, chocolate glaze 10, there's our glaze that I mentioned I was going to do 20, and so on. And you come down and you see for each of the express dozen I have set 10 or glaze 20. After you type in that number, save changes. You always need to save changes, okay? Note that our total target from Dunkin' is 92. We have met our goal. We have set a total waste minimum of 100. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do, there's 2 things that we're going to do in these order templates. One we just did, the waste minimum, and now we need to set our smart forecasting. Okay, so in the forecasting column, select the down arrow caret and select SMART, not standard, SMART. We're setting SMART forecasting for all products that you want on your order. Okay. Also, you're going to want to make sure you select all products in a category. You are not picking and choosing products to forecast within the same category. If you do that, the products that you're not selecting are going to get added to your total forecast. So be sure that you're checking all products in a category. Okay. The only exceptions are LTOs and temporary products, unfinished products, and products that have zero quantities. Okay. Note that restaurants that purchase large quantities of unfinished products to finish in their store should contact our support team to assist with their configuration. If you purchase all of your bakery products from your CML, you can set these categories to forecast also. If you're producing the majority of your bakery products in your restaurant, you should not turn on forecasting for these products. So let's go ahead and update your templates to Smart Forecast. So in the forecasting column, all you do is select the word SMART for each product that you want on order. Okay. So come on down. We're going to assume that we do purchase all of our bakery or most of our bakery from the CML. So we're just going to head on down, select SMART for every product. I can tell you there's no products on this template that have zero quantities. There's no unfinished product, but we do have an LTO, the pumpkin. So we're going to be sure to leave that at none. We are not going to set the SMART forecast. It's easy to just keep going and select SMART for every product in the category that you're turning on. But a trick is you can also use this checkbox here to select all products, come down and unselect the one that we're not going to copy. We don't want our forecast set for the pumpkin, so we're going to unselect that and then come back up and select clone. That's our copy feature, and we're going to copy the forecasting SMART, clone using selected source, and save changes. Okay, that's just a trick to save you some time. If you find it easier just to come down and select SMART for each product, that's fine too. But you can see what we did. We now have forecasting set for every product. It says SMART all the way down except for our pumpkin, which we know it's an LTO, so we don't want to set that to SMART forecast. Okay, so like I said, you have two things to do in your template. Turn on Smart Forecasting and set your end of day targets in the waste minimum column. We've done both of those things. We saved our changes after each update, and so we are all set. Okay, now that you've turned on Smart Forecasting, we need to preview orders so that you can check your forecasted orders to make sure your quantities are what you would expect. So still in your order template, at the top, select More and Preview. And you see here, these are now your Smart Forecasted orders. You can change the date. It's going to default to today. You can change the date, or you can change the display from an item view, which is a per product view, to a summary view, which I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to select Summary. Okay, and this shows you your categories, not by product. The starting order is your forecasted order based on the last 4 weeks of actual sales plus your end of day targets. Okay. Supplier adjustments are how your supplier rules are increasing or decreasing the forecasted order. Take a good look at how your supplier rules are impacting your order. If you see they increase your category by on average of 20 pieces, you may want to adjust your end of day targets down to offset the impact. Units ordered is the quantity you will get from your supplier. Preview 1 week of order quantities to make sure they look reasonable. And if anything seems particularly over or under what you would expect, contact our support team to troubleshoot the issue. Once forecasting is turned on, the next order that is generated will be forecasted. Orders that are already generated will not be unless you regenerate or update them. The Supplyit support team can be reached at 508-686-8090, or you can email us at help@supplyit.com. Remember that your smart forecast is based on the last 4 weeks of sales. So if you have an event coming up that will increase or decrease your typical demand, examples are sporting events, parades, inclement weather, etc., you will still need to edit your orders and select Edit Adjustments to increase or decrease your forecasted order. Smart forecasting cannot anticipate future events. To optimize your variety forecast, you should track waste daily using our new waste workspace. Tracking waste is not necessary. However, tracking waste assists smart forecasting and determining how much of each variety to order. Please view the Recording Waste using the new Waste Workspace video for more information. We've covered how to turn on smart forecasting and Supplyit. Thanks for listening.